Alright guys, hello, it's Creapz here, and welcome to my Turmoil Necro Racing Guide, or character run through, whatever, how you like it. You can play this in League, it's a good starter also. This is just run through of my rank 3 Necro. I got on hardcore, solo, self-found. In the Turmoil race that lasted 10 days and ended like 2 days ago. So I managed to get to level 96, which is not the best. I had some struggles on the way. I could have done things better, but overall, towards the end, I got to really push and race how I should have been doing maybe some days earlier. I managed to grab rank 3 with a 31-hour session at the end, and I'm pretty happy with that. I went kinda mental mode with mapping and pushing and wrestled this rank 3. So let's start off with the character and disabling whispers. So the stats at the end look like this, which is LV cap. I got my Uber ascendancy around day 4, which is mediocre, I guess. Kinda late. Could get it on day 2 or 3. So until that point, you need to watch out a bit for LV, I guess, depending on your gear, what you have. But towards the end, like when you get better gear and you have Uber trial done because of your 4th ascendancy, which will be Commander of Darkness, you won't have any real problems getting your resist cap to LV maps, and that is the main goal. Obviously, the only mod I didn't do on maps last day or even last few days was reflect elemental damage, because your Spectres will die, and that's not good. I did all kind of crit multi, vulnerability, everything that gives back size. Enfeeble doesn't affect you, so it's nice. Turbo modes, you don't really care too much. Like all kind of stuff, you just dive in and you should be fine. You take some big hits, but the build I'm using and the way I build my character is that you can take a one big hit, it's no problem, because when you know your character limits, it's okay. From the leveling, many people start on different roads here. I'll go this way. Into Occultist Dominion, Lord of the Dead, pick up Heart and Soul, and then you wanna get Creapz as early as possible. These are the things you go for first. After that, you have a couple good options. You can pick up Shaper if you want for the mana region. It's a 1 point. You have Cruel Prep, Quick Recovery, and Mind Over Matter. This is not that important. You just pick it up whenever you feel like. Going more towards the Death Attunement, which is not that mandatory. It's fine if you wanna get some more minion damage instead of life early, but also life is fine. It's just whatever you wanna go for early on. You gonna be leveling as a Summer Raging Prince SRS until Act 8 or Act 10, when you can get Solar cards and or Wickermans as your Spectres. Before you have a 5 link, your main link is still SRS. You use it as a main link before you get 5 link Spectres. So basically what you do is you run 4 link on your helmet, 4 link on your chest. Spectres are for support, Azaras is your main link. So after we get to the leveling, we have a Creapz, pick up Mom obviously, we pick up Quick Recovery, get Crew Prep whenever you feel like, get this after it. So if you plan to get Crew Prep, you are planning to get here. Constitution, Sign Life Wheel, shoutouts to Paga, my fellow racer who was rank 2 Elementalist by the way on the race. So that's nice, yep. Constitution is good. We do get Purity of Flesh at some point, before Kitava usually. You go here. It gives some chaos resist, I like it. Now the thing that many Necro builds are different is the down part here. I see many Necros build and take points from around here. But the way I like to build the Necro, by the way, never died on this, except one time, level 97, on Shaper in a Heartbringer League. It do like a desync for a second, everything frozen, and then everything went backwards. I was tanking beam and some balls, and yeah, found myself in standard. But other than that, in real gameplay, I have never died on Necro. And I played a fair bunch of Necrom. So I like to take Unwavering Stance. You are stun immune. And the way I like to build this big, I'm gonna be stun immune, and then my pantheon is Solaris. If you haven't taken damage, elemental damage, the first hit is like 8% less, okay, that's nice. But Lady Stormflay, Wall City, you get there in a race quite easily, and that's like the big deal on here. You take a one crit to the face while you dive into the mobs, moving forward, and then after that you don't take the next crit. So you actually take one big hit maybe, and after that no big hits, and you don't get stunned ever. So you have a control of your character all the time, and you have time to react. When you know your limits, like you're gonna get the one big hit, so what, whatever, flask up, clear, keep going, dive into the next pack. Yeah, there's one big crit, again 8% less from that crit. Maybe some melee mobs hit you, you drop to half HP at max, and then you can't get stunned or critted again. Flask up, keep going, and that's what I did. I didn't die at the end on a Purshoi Beyond Hour. When I realized I was behind on the race for third, I went here, picked up my Purshoi maps. I had 4 or 5 of them and did like 5-minute clears on Purshoi. Dive into all the hallways, drop to like half or 30% HP, and you're fine, Just keep going. Never get stunned on the titty pitches or anything stupid, but there's a lot of damage. You could die there, but I was pushing and risking it, so whatever. Anyways, this is like the way I like to go. Get some nice life notes here, have a decent amount of HP, and I was using diamond skin towards the end. To be honest, if I did more time into fixing my gear, I put in haste on the last day, and I didn't run Essence Worm even though I had it, but it's because it wasn't like day 7 or something, you know, day 7, day 8. It was last day when I decided to go with the haste and go full YOLO. Drop half my mana, cap it, and just keep the diamond skin. I could have fixed my gear like better, but it was getting so late. I just wanted to map more. Few things to go over here so I don't forget is the normal lab. When you're leveling, you want to do this ASAP when you can. It's like level 34, 36 is like safe. Like if you want to crap your golem, like a stone golem, to go there for the lab, just roll try to get a bleed immune flask and go to the lab. First you pick up Miserable Sacrifice, because Flesh Offering is really good for leveling, and you benefit a lot from it also. So this is the first one. Get some attack speed, movement speed, cast speed, all that good stuff for your minions and yourself. The next one is you go Fleshbinder because we want to get Soul Weaver. And we do Cruel and Merc same time before Kitava kill, Act 10. So you want to be around level 70 when going to Kitava, and you do your laps before that. Set up your tractor to go. You want to spike on your tree before going for Kitava. So wherever you are, you want to make sure level 70 you get like some kind of nice life node or something like that. And that's pretty much the build. When you find your trials on mapping, you do them, get this ASAP when you can. Don't be too afraid of trials. If you need to take your time, and just make sure you get them done. Because this is really good. Gives you all the good stuff. Free resist. Yeah, and if you're not using haste, you use like clarity instead. Cap some of your mana. That's what I was using before. I used haste because you need a aura for this. Aura for this to get the benefit. So you just use clarity until that point. I should have one here. Yes, there we go. Use clarity instead of haste, and you have the aura benefit from your ascendancy. But that's the last ascendancy you take. Elemental Equilibrium. Yeah, that's really nice. Almost can announce that. You take this when you get your ball lightning set up. It doesn't need to be the full 4-link, what I have here, but when you pick up ball lightning, which you should do before going to Kitava at least, preferably earlier. Just put it on, you cast ball lightning, so they get lightning damage, they get extra lightning resist, and after that your fire damage is higher, so your SRS and your solar cars or Wickermans do more damage. They lose fire resist. Make sure your gear doesn't have, like, for example here I have lightning damage. Try to make sure your gear doesn't have adds to fire damage anywhere, because at that point if you do have that, it's either adds fire damage to attacks or spells. That means your ball lightning or your shield charge can fuck up your EE. So let's say you have fire damage to attacks, you shield charge in the mobs here, and then after that you start casting SRS or your solar cards, start hitting them. They have extra fire resist because your shield charge does fire damage to them. So try to avoid getting gear that has fire damage added. I think that's all from the tree. Pick up some nice UL sockets towards the end. When you start getting them, there's some really nice 1-point UL sockets on the way here. I like it. 2-point here, 3-point here. Get some extra mana for Mom. Top, we have one here. And the thing what I want to do after Kitava, when I go in the maps, I take Alchemist. This is really good for mapping, and to be honest, I I don't enjoy mapping without Alchemist. Like getting 7 or 8 second flasks and increased effect on them is like so powerful. So try to get this after you kill Kitava. You go to maps, do couple maps, you get 3 points here. Then after that, get deep thoughts or fill up the constitution or whatever you have left here. It's just what you feel comfort with. You have so much good life notes here that you fill them up as you progress, how you feel about the character. I can't really tell you when you should take Purity of Flesh, because if you wanna get more life, you get more life. It's just how you feel about the character, you need to play it out. I take them maybe different time than you do, and it's still fine. There's so many good life wheels here you can get. So yeah, just work your way through it. This is the build I would recommend you do, and you just progress as you want. So let's go over the gear then. This one I found like 10 hours before the race ended, so I slammed it on because more attack speed. I was using this mace all the time, the whole race. Increased attack speed, increased cast speed, has lightning damage, which is not fire damage, so you don't fuck up your EE. Just attack speed, cast speed. Mediocre mace I found at leveling, and I just used this one. This one I found like 10 hours before the race ended, so it's whatever. Wismortis, I changed one with like 100 orbs or something. I found 2 of them later on, but it was 5 link all the way. I found it like level 90 something with the chain orbs, and it was 5 link all the way until 8 hours before the race ended. Then I got it to 6 link. So I was using this chest instead of this until this 6 link. And bone helmet, solid helmet. Farm this from like Bok or Barrows, tier 8, tier 13. If you shape Bok, you have a tier 13. And yeah, it's just solid 78 item level helmet. Blessed orb, the implicit of course, to like 39 or 40 minion damage. Craft it with like essence or something like I did. Alterations or essence, whatever you get your hands on. And SSF races like this, using essences is really good way. I got this Creed later when I didn't really need it anymore, but I would have probably used it if I needed it. And just use your essences to craft gear. It's not really that hard to get decent gear when you put like 20 minutes into it to fix your gear with crafting and check your resist. So solid bone helmet there, some resist, extra dex. I swapped it at the end. I think I had triple res here. Oh fuck, I fucked up. Oh, that's not good. Let's put it here. And then I used this shield on the last day only when I swapped to haste. Until that point I used some other shield. This one I believe. Some chaos res, solid life, strength. And this I just swapped when I started using haste instead. And I didn't put the time in to fix essence worm. I found one towards the end, but like it was last day, so I was figuring out I'd just rather map and risk running with half mana with the haste instead of like trying to fix all my gear. Because I found at like level 93, 95, something like that, which really helps you sustain Alch, Sextants, things like that. And I didn't use Viscous Leash, which is a mistake on my part. I should have used it. Instead I used like a belt like this. And to be honest, like I'm 6 point, well, okay, let's do this quickly. Take the haste off, get this helmet on. So I'm at 6.5k life here. If I take this off, I'm at 6.1k, and I can live with that. Like 400 life is like okay, it's a lot, but then again, it's a race. You use Viscous Leash, you get the rampage. Like, yeah, this is a mistake to use really good belt like this instead of Viscous Leash. So probably should have just went for a Viscous Leash when I found it. I think it was like day 8 or something when I found Viscous Leash. Rings, solid amethyst ring, really solid one. Get some chaos rest, it's always good. Always good. I'm at minus 17 here. At some point I was like plus 20, but you don't really need that. Like, I feel like minus 17 is fine. I had plus 20 at some point, but yeah, with different setup. So life, resist, increased rarity, which is nice bonus there. I found a nice breach ring at like day 6 or something. Really solid one. You have dex, mana, life here, mana and life gets doubled in the breach, and also resistance, like if you get some single target resist debuff or something, like you have the plus 16 in top of that. Really solid one. So I end up using these two. Bones of Ur. This is like the mandatory piece. Not much the Wismorness. Like you can get away with 6-link belly, other 6-link chest. This is like the thing you wanna find. I would even use chance orbs on silk slippers if you don't find this when you're about to get into maps or like early mapping, because it's just so powerful on a boots to get the extra spectra. 3 spectras with 6-link chest is enough. I believe 6-link chest like belly or other chest is more powerful than 5-link Wismorness. But obviously 6-link Wismorness is the uber nuts. Haha, Ponter, Uber. Anyways, Bones of Ur is what you wanna get, so I would even use chance orbs on this. Just make sure you have enough chance orbs to buy maps from Zana, so you don't mentally just spam all your chance orbs away. You need to manage your resources. And then gloves are like mediocre. Like these are not that good. They have some decks. 80 life, some resist, but I didn't find any gloves at any point that I could have an open prefix on to craft minion damage. And I mean, it's 10 to 15% extra minion damage there, so gloves could definitely be way better. That's about gear. Going over the links, what I use is cast when damage taken, Immortal Call, level 1 and 3. Convocation, cast when damage taken, Desecrate, and Bone Offering. This link is one of the most powerful in the game, I believe. And this can save your ass so easily. Cizaran wouldn't even die on a Chimera if he had this, but he didn't, so he died. Yeah. This, you run with Flesh Offering 24/7, you dive in the back, you take a big crit into your face, you never get stunned, and this procs. Very good. Very solid. You get healed and good to go again. Cast Flesh Offering and go. And here the one socket was haste. If you don't use haste, you don't have a essence worm or something, you don't use haste, you use clarity instead in this slot to get your Commander of Darkness when you have overlap done. Shield. Shield source, 45 faster attacks for movement. Proc 45 with that when you dive in. Faster attacks obviously for mobility. Boots is our curse setup. Crater, multiple projectile, GMB. Curse on hit, ball lightning, and enfeeble. So we proc EE and we curse the mobs with enfeeble. You can use offensive curse here if you want to. Weak or projectile weakness, so your projectiles pierce through. But I went with enfeeble. It's what I used on like Harpinger League also, and I use it also on this race. But you can use offensive curse here if you want projectile weakness or like ele weakness. On a class we have increased duration, desecrate, flesh offering, and decoy. So we get increased duration or our decoy and flesh offering. Decoy we use for like boss fights and not really much out of that. Maybe fighting some beyond bosses on like double beyond maps. You can cast a decoy in there and it's fine. But yeah, mostly for flesh offerings to increase duration. Our Spectre link is Ray Spectre, GMP, minion damage, elemental focus. Our 5 link, Spell Echo, our 6 link, Control Destruction. And yeah, the one thing we are missing here on gem setup at the moment is Chaos Golem. I don't have an unset ring on for my aura or for the extra slot at the moment. So I just decided to drop Chaos Golem. I use Chaos Golem for the extra physical damage reduction. And that's my choice for the Golem. Of hands, we have just Portal and Gem leveling. This is the chest what I used for long time before I got the Wismornis. And the bad part about this is it's missing the 6 socket. I had really hard time finding a 5 link. I found 4 links all the time, but finding a 5 link, I didn't get really a chest where I wanted to invest like few things or too much resources. So I ended up using this for fair punch. I believe up to tier 9 maps. When I got to red maps, or after I got to red maps, I found the Wismortis and then 5 link. Belt of the Deceiver, I think I found it at Blood Aqueduct, and I used it for a while. Nearby enemies are intimidated and take reduce damage from crits. Is nice. Strength or rest life, always good, so I use this for a fair bit in the maps. But yeah, like I said, Viscous Leash would be the way to go if I would decide now. Solid Rare Belt always works also if you can't get your hands in the Viscous Leash. This was the mace I used for a long time, like I mentioned earlier. Just attack speed. Like if you don't get like a Pride Peak or Chimera Claw or anything, just get attack speed weapon. Craft it yourself if you don't find one. And you're good to go. Towards the end I found this. 2 more Wismortis and a couple boots. But it doesn't matter towards the end. What matters is how early you get them. That's what matters. I found this on the last day. And Yeah, it just matters how early you get them, not how many you get them. And flask setup, we have bubbling. You can use bubbling or seething. Both are fine. When you get a bit more life, I swap to bubbling. I was using seething for a fair bit, and then I swapped to bubbling when I had more HP. Cover some fair bit more of the life pool, like just use bleeding, freeze, granite with freeze. Make sure you have increased charge recovery, increased duration, or something you'd like that to go with the freeze. Mana pot. If you get put enchant from Merciless or Uber that you regenerate 1.5 or 2% of your mana and HP, you can get away without using mana pot. But I didn't get it, and it's a solid potion because we take a fair bit of damage from our mana pool. Overtime damage or big hits, like it's nice to just run the mana pot here then. And there's also bleeding removal here because I didn't want to use my HP pot to remove the bleed. So if you get bleed on you, even though if you're full mana, when you press this, you get the bleed removal. So it's also fine to run 2 bleed removals like this. Then you have a shock. Basalt Flask, make sure you have like reduce charges used until the point that you have 2 consumes on the 2 uses on the flask. And then last is Quicksilver with curse immunity. You can either use reduce charges used or you go with a couple extra charges, so you go to like 60 and then you have 3 charges. That is also viable and it's fine. This is just the flask setup. I also find this from Kadiro, but I never ended up using Blood of the Karui. It could be okay to use, but I didn't. And yeah, that's pretty much it from the link and gear and flag setup. We went over like stats, we went over the talents, I believe, pretty much. Can show you some gameplay. I don't have Atlas here because it's in between my progression from the Turmoil getting to migrated into Solo Self-Found League. So they haven't done that yet, but it's coming. So at the moment I can't get into maps because I don't have a hideout or Atlas here, which is kinda unfortunate, but yeah, let's do like a Blood Aqueduct run so you see a bit of the gameplay in action. Very solid character, very straightforward. What you do is I actually don't have haste now. I need to go grab that really quick because you wanna have aura on all the time. Forgot to get that. Where did I put the game? Somewhere here, right? Yes. Alright. So there's no haste. If you don't use haste, like I said earlier, you just use clarity to have the aura effect from your pantheon. So the basic gameplay, you always run Flesh Offering, keep your flask up, dive into everything. If you go far enough, your spectres will follow you, or you cast Convocation. While you map for a while, you get into the rhythm of that. So let's start going. Now they TP, they kill everything there, then I cast Convocation here, Flesh Offering again. And you just keep your flask up all the time. You have Alchemist, so your flasks are like 8 seconds, 7-8 seconds, which is really nice. And keep going. If you take a big hit, you don't panic with this because you never get stunned and you take a 1 crit, and after that you can't get crits, so it's a solid one. I believe I would have died in Porchoy at least like, okay, there was so many situations I would have died there if I didn't have the Solaris Pantheon for the crit immunity, and if I would have not been stun immune, I would have been so fucked there on the Beyond Hour when I had to YOLO them, but I ended up living. And it's important when you're racing that you don't get the same XP as the other guy gets. You need to get more, right? And when you're behind, you obviously need to get even more. So what I did is, I did a Beyond Porchoy, like 5 maps, 5-minute runs, jump into Tropical Island after that, I believe some Creapz hour, in the Tropical Beyond hour, get some Ashenwood double Beyond action going, and yeah, then the other guy gave up on the race. And at that point I was at, I believe, hour number 31 when he came up, so, and we had like 2 or 3 hours left on the race, so so very solid pullback from me on the last day. I really enjoyed the race, and to be honest, I have never, like, I played so many games, I have never pushed that hard what I did at the end. My Path of Exile background is like, I have played this game maybe 3 months, 2 months, 3 months. I have a solid background from other games. I've always been really competitive with everything I do. But it's actually not that long when I started playing this. I have some good friends to get me started with. For example, the one who won this race, congrats to Liverman, he's a good friend of mine also. So he gave me some tips to start this, and yeah, I really enjoy the game. I always knew the game is good, and I always knew that if I ever try this game, I will get hooked so hard, and that's what happened. Eventually, one day, I started trying, and yeah, here we are. Here we are racing in Turmoil. Next time we see you at Mayhem then. But yeah, this is the character in action, really solid. Really solid. If you have any questions, you make sure to post, ask. I'm gonna post this on YouTube and then probably on Reddit after that. Just leave a comment to ask me about it, and stay safe, guys. See you in Mayhem.